I mean, I don't like the way our culture has sort of moved toward more and more metrics and turning everything into a quantifiable metric. But I also recognize that it is kind of where the world is going. And maybe a system could be created that still embraces the complexity of architecture, even if it's reducing it to a number. I mean, it would have to, just as you just said a moment ago, it would have to factor in much more than aesthetics. It would have to also factor in sustainability, urbanism, perhaps, internal function, a lot of things. And one could create a formula. It's an interesting challenge. As I said, I have a kind of visceral dislike for it just because I believe in nuance and subtlety and shades of gray, and I don't like reducing things to black and white. But yes, it could be done if it were done carefully. I mean, one of the reasons wine has been such a big sort of collectible item in the last generation is because Robert Parker and others created these rating systems, giving, this wine an 88 and this wine is a 92 and this wine is a 96, and therefore it's worth more, and people get all very excited. It's not as objective as it pretends to be. It's still subjective, but it would be an intriguing idea to see if you could pull it off, actually. And then the question, of course, is, would people pay attention to it, and what would it matter? Because the marketplace for architecture and the marketplace for real estate are not the same thing, but they do have an awful lot of connections and overlaps. But it's a mistake to believe they're the same thing, but neither are they completely unrelated things. So exactly how you factor that in to a rating system, whereas say with wine, the marketplace for wine is the marketplace for wine, and consumers go and buy their wine and they drink it. But, consumers don't buy buildings except, they might buy new condos in buildings that, if a critic rated this condo as 88 on a scale of 100 and this one as 91, would be a factor to advertise, and would people then say, oh, let's go there because it's a 91 rather than an 88? Be interesting to think about.
I think it'd take a lot of work to get there, but it
would take a lot of work to get there. And then also, how do you bring the system into buildings that have nothing to do with that market? In other words, does it matter if you call a new museum a 96?